Just waiting for Phil, guys. You've got Midas from the minute we've started. Because you were a little pain in the bum, weren't you? Here she is. Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I literally set an alarm on my phone so I wouldn't miss it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm doing lockdown things. I like rearrange all the spices in the cupboard.
All the pointless things you don't normally do. Yeah.
I've now got a Ziploc bag that says panko breadcrumbs on it.
Okay.
Why have I got so many panko breadcrumbs? Can you hold me in your arms? It's already started. We've only been live for 2 minutes, guys. I did one with Jodie DeLand the other day, and this guy just kept saying how beautiful the eyes were, and I thought that he was talking about Jodie, and then he started saying redhead.
Redhead.
You are beautiful. Redhead. You have boyfriend. I am sad redhead.
I'm gonna call you that now.
I know. I can't get a text back, but I can get a man in Peru proposing to me on Instagram.
That's what Instagram's for, you know. If we
run
out of options.
The funny thing is, he doesn't even follow me, and he didn't follow me after.
Just fancy coming along.
I know. How has your lockdown started?
It's been okay. To be fair, I've been really busy. I've just been working from home again.
Yeah.
And just training in my garage, trying to keep myself sane. But there's not a lot else you can do, really, is there?
Do you feel like it's been an easier transition this time? Because I feel like I never really went back to my former lifestyle completely after lockdown 1. And I was a lot slower pace, still working from home. Actually, I was only going into the office like twice a week. And obviously we were at the gym, so that's the biggest thing for me that's changed, is I've got to bloody train in my living room again. But yeah, I feel like the transition's been a bit easier for me this time, because we know what it is, and also we've been promised it's only be 4 weeks, but let's see about that.
But I feel it's been 1,000 times harder, to be honest, for me this
really
time. Yeah, for a couple of reasons. Firstly, I don't agree with it, so I found that really hard, because I'm just kicking back, and I find that I can't accept it. And then at the same time, the last lockdown basically ended up being made redundant, so I started a new job literally on Monday, so I had 3 days in the office to acclimatise, and then now it's like I'm just left at home. Not left at home, like obviously they're all really supportive, but then it's difficult to kind of get used to that whilst you're not there.
I'm being made redundant at the moment, and I'm really? Just like, fuck, because obviously if it wasn't a lockdown, it wasn't all this shit, I would easily be able to get another job, the same thing that I do, same money. But now it's just an employer's market, because there's so many unemployed people that will work for much less than they would have asked for before, because they're desperate. So my salary, I'm not going to be able to match it unless I'm really lucky. And there's just so many, especially in London, right? There's just so many people. And I think that what coronavirus has done actually is just open up the geography of the candidates, because you just work remotely now, and we've proved that. So it's even harder, because you've got even more people to go up against.
I know, it's like it's hard enough to get a job at the best of times, and now it's like so many people trying to do it. But
how has your first week been, like joining a new team remotely?
It's been okay. As I say, like the first 3 days I was in the office, so that was obviously good. I would have preferred to have been there longer to actually get to know people. Because I feel like I'm in a little bit of a sticky situation, in the sense that I don't necessarily know who to talk to about certain things. Still kind of learning what everyone does, and you know, so it's a bit difficult not knowing people well at this point. But you know, it is what it is. We just adapt, don't we? And we do what we can do. But it's not been easy. But
honestly, this year's been a funny one, hasn't it? Like
Funny, is that the word you're gonna use?
I try to be as positive as possible, obviously, because otherwise you're just your own worst enemy. Okay. But there's just a part of me this time that feels so dragged down. And it is what you say. It's like the first lockdown, we didn't have any data. So we believed we were doing the right thing for the right reasons. Yeah. And this time, they've just gone against all the science and all the statistics. And I don't believe in it this time around. And last time, I mean, I live on my own. I didn't see anyone for almost 4 months because I followed it to the T. Yeah. And this time around, I mean, I'm actually quarantined at the moment because I tested positive 2 weeks ago.
I saw that.
So I'm actually allowed out tomorrow. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to be stupid, but I'm also not going to sit in my house on my own for another at least 4 weeks. It affected my mental health so badly, and my people skills were affected, actually. I really struggled socially afterwards, which is new to me because I'm quite a social person. I can talk to anyone. But it's just, I don't know, even my vocabulary was reduced because I wasn't used to using my brain.
Yeah, no, honestly, like when I started a new job and I started working, I was like, wow, like I haven't done this in such a long time. I was knackered. It was ridiculous how you get so accustomed to living a certain way. But yeah, it's not good, is it?
Do you know, we're all in the same boat. So I feel like there is an element of some people just give you a bit of slack and are like, it's hard times. I mean, I really struggled in the start of the last lockdown, being on my own and being so isolated. And it really affected my job. And my boss actually gave me a bit of a hall pass because he was just like, I can't imagine what it must be like being on your own. Yeah. But then I've got that challenge, you know, there's still a challenge of other people being locked in a small space with multiple people. And no matter how well you love each other or you get on, that's hard as well. Like we've all got our own drama to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, you just have to kind of be kind, I suppose, and be flexible and all that corny stuff, and just understand that people are not themselves anymore. Some people are never going back to who they used to be either.
No. You're absolutely right. Like you never know what else is going on in people's lives aside from just everything happening with COVID. It has so many implications for people.
Yeah.
So you just gotta be kind. That's pretty much all we can say about that.
So this guy said BBC lovers, right? It means so many things, but I'm such a fucking bodybuilder now that I'm like, does he mean Brightman and Bridgman and
I
love those three guys. That's the interpretation I'm going with.
Okay.
Brightman, Bridgman and Cycles. I love them.
I like that. I'm going to go
Gingers Unite.
BBC News, yeah? That's what you meant.
Yeah. That's all we're going with.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since everyone's been doing loads of lives, and every time I go into one in the last week or two, there's always someone in the comments harassing or just taking the mickey and making them laugh. Look, Georgia's laughing because she was on the one with my guy from Peru who exclaimed that he was going to come to America to see me. And I was like, sorry, mate.
He tried, just not hard enough.
He did try. I mean, it's the most successful relationship I've had in the last few months. He actually tried, you know, that's new.
This is lockdown dating for you now.
Oh my God. My love life due to coronavirus has just been something else. I went on a couple of dates after the first lockdown that I didn't even know how to represent myself anymore because I don't know who I am anymore. And one of the guys, he said, you talking to you is like swimming upstream. He was like, you just check like between all different topics all the time. And I was like, fuck, do I? And then I realized it's because me and my friends were sending each other 10-minute voice notes, you know, updates, instead of actually just speaking and having more like articulation. We were condensing all of our information into one and then being able to recall what the other person said, and it was just such a strange way to talk. But I'm so used to it now. And and then just some dreadful dates. I went on a date and within 20 minutes I was talking. First of all, he tried to lick my ice cream. There's a global pandemic, mate. Like, don't put your coronavirus on my mouth. And then he leant over while I was talking and tapped me on the head and said, oh, there is something in there then. And I was like, excuse me? And he said, women that look like you are not usually very intelligent.
I'd have walked out, mate.
I actually left. It was my sister's birthday, and I just faked that I had to go and see her for her birthday. And it was like 2:00 in the afternoon. And I said, I'm going for dinner. And he was like, well, I can see you until then. And I was like, no, I've got to go and get my car and then drive there. I didn't even have a car. I just got home and I was just like, what the fuck? Look, the girls are laughing. I actually feel like I might write a book of dating in London, because it's fucking ridiculous.
I can imagine.
Oh my God, honestly. One guy told me that I shouldn't wear my hair up because it's not very feminine, and women that wear their hair up just look like men. And I was just like, what? I was like, you know, I wear my hair up every day to go to the gym, right? I'm not one of those girls that look pretty in the gym.
And I bet you look heavier than him as well, so, you know.
Must do. He actually hasn't barely left the house since the last lockdown, so he's a conspiracy theorist, so there was that too.
Cool. Good
But yeah, it's gone really well.
Sounds great.
Really well. It's really frustrating not being able to see everyone though, right? Especially now competition season's ending for me, so all my friends can eat again. So usually it's like, this is the time when you can see the girls and enjoy a bit of food with them and celebrate that they can eat again. And then, I'll just send you a picture of my food on WhatsApp instead.
Literally, I made so many food plans with, like, you know, Jess and Danny, who's just finished competing. We're like, oh yeah, let's go here, do this. But it's like, hang on, okay, we're not going to do any of that. I
really wanted to come up and train with the three of you, like the four, and it was like making plans with Danny, like, yeah, I'm going to come see you when you guys are finished, and then it was like, oh. I'll send you my living room workout.
I know.
How have you found adjusting back to training at home? Like motivation wise?
Not good.
Yeah, me
not
too.
Good. To be honest, harder than the last time, I think, because the first time round, even though it sucked, it was like, it was new, it was different, and you're like, okay, let's accept the challenge. And now I sort of feel like I don't want to accept the challenge, but then I'm obviously going to do anything that keeps me going, but I don't want to do it, and it's cold and it's wet and it's miserable this winter.
Yeah, it is. I feel like my training, because of lockdown, we obviously had to improvise, and I think we all became better at form, you know, better at everything, to be honest. And I went back into the gym, the strongest I've ever been, the most mobile, because I'd actually been working. Well, I've got 170 kilos, including my bar. So I didn't have to limit my deadlift or my squat at all.
Yeah.
Hip thrust, overhead press. When it comes to the compounds, I was all right. I can't lift 170 kilos in any of those lifts, right? So I was still progressing in that respect. But the biggest difference is I never used to squat before lockdown because I had been injured for a couple of years in my hips, and it forced me to. And the first couple of weeks were awful, and if I'd been in the gym and had other equipment available, I wouldn't have persevered, but I had to because I didn't have much choice. And now my squat's lovely, feels great, but I'm way more mobile now, and so I got back in the gym and I just hit the ground running, and then I started training with people much bigger and stronger than me. Like we've got a few wellness athletes at my gym. They've been leg days, I'll tell you. Like, first exercise is 100 leg extensions, but on your working weight, not even a reduced weight. I'm like, 20 kilos, and she's like, no, mate. And I can't feel my legs for it, but it was just going so well. And then this has happened, and I just tried to squat in the living room now, and I was like, this is just shit.
I know. I feel like everyone got to this point just before now where they're all starting to feel really into their training. It's like, really into this, going really well. And I haven't even squatted since last lockdown because, like, I tend to hack squat and I tend to use more of the machines and stuff like that. And I squatted the other day. I was like, this just feels awful. Yeah. My body doesn't want to move like this.
Yeah. I've even sent the owner of my gym, like, do you want to come on my happy hour? And he's like, yeah, let's talk about it. I'm like, maybe I can come to the gym and talk to you about it.
After train.
Maybe about 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bake for him. I'm gonna kiss his ass.
I think you should.
I just want to use the hack squat and the leg extension.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, even George was saying she was bulking and it was going so well. Now she's on a mini cut. I'm exactly the same, actually. I'm at the end of my off season, the most critical time because everything's peak. And now I'm mini cutting and I'm on 1,700 calories a day. And I'm going to shove this pen in my eye after this because I haven't got any food left.
I feel you.
I needed a little bit of a tidy up physically, to be honest. I just got into that, I was fine, you can diet next year mentality. But I've been eating so badly. So actually lockdown is good for me when it comes to diet because there's less temptation. I'm less likely to even bother to go to shops to buy anything delicious. So I just end up eating what's here. So I'm actually a lot healthier.
Yeah. It's one of those things as well, like even lockdown training, you can still train hard, but you're not going to get the same expenditure that you'd get from your typical like gym leg session or whatever. It's not the same. So unfortunately.
I've been like telling myself I'm going to do 10 sets of 10. I get to the 8th rep on the first set and I'm like, maybe not. Like, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow.
No.
But I've actually got to finish my training session after this because I just abandoned it halfway through. I was like, this is shit.
Yeah, it's not good. We've just got to do it. Like, it's all I keep telling myself. It's just, you just got to get it done and hope that by December 2nd we are actually back into normality. But I don't know at this point, but we'll see.
I think though, like legitimately, if they try and have lockdown or restrictions over Christmas, there'll be riots because you can't just have, well, say for example, if I did follow the rules, I'd be on my own for Christmas. And it's just I know that you should be like, well, it's just another time of year, but it's not, and it means a lot mentally to a lot of people. I always get really down in December because I don't speak to my parents, so there's always this kind of pulling my sister like Stretch Armstrong, like, who are you going to spend Christmas with? And it's never me. I know she's watching this. But yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm going to go, my friend in the Wirral, she is on her own, and we've said no matter what, one of us is driving down to the other one and we're going to spend Christmas on our own, and we don't care if we're not meant to. We're both young, we're both healthy. You know, if I had symptoms it would be different, but we won't because we're in our ivory tower right now. And I'm sure many people feel the same. Now I think it's really bad is anyone that's got someone who's older and vulnerable, like the grandparents or great grandparents, that now is thinking, shit, I can't see them even if their social distancing eases for 2 weeks, because that's what I reckon is going to happen. I reckon they're going to give us 2 weeks and put us back into lockdown in January.
I completely agree with you.
Because they've extended all the schemes and all the grants and everything till April. Like, come on, guys, I can't do this till April.
But as you said, though, I don't think it's going to go smoothly. There's so many businesses that are going to absolutely kick off if that happens. Yeah. And I think they should. I fully support them for it. Yeah.
You know, I've never been like anarchist or, I mean, I'm a little goody two shoes usually and we'll follow the rules. But this time I'm like, no, like fair enough if the figures and the data supported it, but you've even got Theresa May questioning the figures and the data and saying, why are you not looking at the figures? Like, what we're doing is so extreme and the data doesn't support it. And it's like, it's a cold day in hell when you actually agree with Theresa May.
It really is. I know.
But
I just can't believe that it gets literally under my skin. I can't even process it sometimes. But obviously, it's so sad that people have died. I'm not.
Yeah, of course.
That at all. But at the same time, we are literally running England into the ground at this rate.
You can't lock healthy people up. It's not right. Like, I mean, I've had it.
Support it, and I feel like it's craziness that the government are saying, oh, the data says this, data says that. But the data is readily available to us on the government website, and we're not stupid. So like, it just blows my mind that it's even happening.
So when I had dinner with someone 2 weeks ago, and he didn't feel right, but he was fine. And then I thought he ghosted me because I didn't hear from him again for a few days. So I sent him a message like, "You're a fucking prick, by the way." Like, I told him my life story and felt like super vulnerable, and I thought he'd ghosted me because I was a mess. But he was like, "I actually tested positive yesterday. Thanks for telling me though, dickhead. You were sitting in my house eating pizza with me, like." He tested positive, and then I got a text message from Track and Trace the next day saying, "You need to isolate from 14 days from the point of contact with someone you've been around." Who? Could have been anyone. Like, literally doesn't tell you anything. I think they should tell you the date. So then I'm like, what on earth? And I'm like, well, it obviously must be him because he's been ill. But I just felt like I had a cold coming, you know, when you got that like incubation feeling of a cold for 2 days. My tonsil was a little bit sore for a couple of days, but not even enough to take a painkiller. And I just felt tired. But I'm 38, of course I'm tired. Like, and we train hard, right? That also is really exhausting. But I went and got a test, and then actually from the day of the test, you only have 10 days that you need to isolate. You don't need to test negative before you are released back into the wild. How can they say that every single person's going to clear the virus at the same rate? Like, everyone's body is different. It just doesn't make sense. And so I got tested again on Wednesday, and it was still positive. So I'm meant to be allowed out now. Do I have it? Like, I don't want to go and get tested again and then have to do another 10 days. No. But I suppose right now, the only difference is I can't go outside to exercise, so I can't go for a walk, and I'm not allowed to go to the groceries or medicine myself. So it's just like, but it just doesn't make sense. If it's so deadly, if you've tested positive, why are you not having to have a negative test before you're allowed back out?
Yeah, I agree.
They should send you home after that. After you test positive, they should mail one of those kits to your house so that you can do the second one at the end of the 10 days.
Yeah.
Guys, just vote for me. I've just solved it all.
Yeah, there you go.
We're sorted.
It feels like I fully appreciate that the vulnerable should be protected, should they choose to be, though. And I say that
that's the thing. It's up to them, right?
It should be up to them. And I feel like if I was an old person, personally, I'd be like, do you know what? I only have a couple of years left. I don't want to be shut in my house. And I feel like a lot of people probably do feel that way.
Yeah.
Other people don't. Fair enough. Absolutely fine. But I feel like it should be a choice of theirs. But they can't keep locking everyone else up.
They've just taken away so many civil liberties. You know, it's actually illegal to have sex if you don't live with the person now.
Yeah. It's mad.
Illegal. Like, I think that your most basic human requirement is sex, right? And to procreate, right? Really, without getting all philosophical, why are we here?
Yeah.
Usually to reproduce. Yeah. And so my own personal thing. So I'm 38. I'm going to be 39 in April. I'm actually single. So if I really want to have a family, I've really got to be thinking about it now. But also meeting someone, dating them, getting to know them, being with them long enough to know that I could have a family with this person. So we're talking, what, a couple of years. But now you're saying I can't even go out for a walk with someone. I mean, I'm not going to go on a walk with a complete random now during this day, like, times. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like they're saying, oh, well, there's going to be a whole group of people now that are probably going to miss out on having children because we're not allowed to have sex. I mean I haven't got anyone to have sex with, but that's not the point.
Yeah, I know it's a law.
I just can't. It's just unbelievable, really. But
no. I feel like having it as a rule is one thing, having it as a law is another.
That's exactly it. It should be a guideline, right? I think that we're all ethical enough to say if we have no symptoms, or if we did have symptoms, I wouldn't be seeing anyone in any case, especially not my loved ones, right? But yeah, I suppose not everyone is so nice, and they are selfish and they will go out. I was really surprised by some of the people that I came into contact with while I may have had the virus, who I told them, like, you need to isolate or you need to get a test. And but the inconvenience of it, some of those people were literally like, nah. And I was like, yeah, but you're going to work and potentially spreading it around. But I think it was the bad timing. Like, I got told on the Sunday that I've got to isolate, but obviously we went into lockdown on the Thursday. So those last 3 days where I could have been like doing all my things and training for the last few days, I missed out on it.
That's bad. That's not great.
I know.
Yeah, I feel like there's a whole lot of us that have like massively overtrained lately, because we were like, we need to make the most of this.
Yeah.
My body is an absolute bits at the moment.
I bet.
Because of that. I did like 7 days in a row or something stupid.
Yeah. And also didn't just do 7 days of like mediocre training. It was like balls to the wall, right?
And trust me, I know it now.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's lucky that you can't get the stimulus at home, because can you imagine if all we had to do really was train and work? All you would be doing is training like an arsehole the whole time.
I know.
There is actually a gym near me that's open, but because I've been isolating, I can't go. But I'm thinking about going tomorrow. It's a zone gym, and it looks incredible because the vibe there is just amazing. But he must have been fined £10,000 today because it's the 4th day. But he did a video yesterday saying, I don't care, I'm going to stay open. And it was just wow.
I know a few gyms around here that are doing a similar thing. I don't blame them at all. I just feel for them more than anything, because I feel like if everyone stood up together, like all the gyms did it all together, that would be absolutely amazing. But these gyms doing it on their own, it's just probably not going to work, and that's awful because they're just going to get fined so much money.
Well, did you see what happened to the owner of Ripped Gym? Crazy. Like they stripped her naked in the police station and like kept her in overnight. They're charging her over ripping up a magazine. It's like, come on, she's frustrated. She hasn't actually, she's not criminal. She's just gone against the guidance, and they treated her. They're obviously trying to make an example of her.
That gym definitely handled it wrong, but I fully appreciate where they were coming from, and I fully support it as well. Obviously, like Nick from Liverpool, he's doing such an amazing job at the moment. I know he's been in touch with like Gymshark, My Protein, USN, just trying to get everyone on board and follow the same suit of what Grenade did the day before.
I think that some people really underestimated the intelligence of some of these guys. You know, like Nick has demonstrated. I mean, he goes head to head on live interviews, you know, and is so articulate and so well informed. And it's like, I think they didn't really realize. They just think we're a bunch of meatheads, don't they? But I do feel like in some areas it is like that. So in the area that Ripped Gym is, the police will have to deal with scallies all the time, you know. So, but then saying that, so Zone and the police have been cool apparently. I mean, they're obviously having to do what they need to legally do with the fines and stuff, but it doesn't look like they've been walking in and fining everyone there like they did at Ripped.
There's a gym around here that I know that they're threatening to fine members. They haven't done it, but they've been threatening it.
Well, I watched Josh Bridgman was training when the police turned up at Ripped and put it on his story, and he said that about 10 members they just randomly gave out fines, but they didn't try to fine him. So it was obviously just to make an example. But I'll pay the £200 if it means I can use the hack squat.
Literally, I know. I'm like, take my money. Support the cause.
My gym, I feel really bad for them. So at the start of lockdown, the first one, they'd only just opened a couple of months before, or they'd done a massive refurb. And so this brand new gym just sitting there, which they got to like make it even better during lockdown. But they've literally just started extending the gym by doubles. They're opening up a functional area and they're building it outside. And it should be ready at the end of this month. And it's like, well, are we even going to be able to do like an open day or anything, you know? Like, I feel for them because they don't take any money off of any of us either. They've completely frozen everything, and it's like, I'll still pay. I don't care. Like, this is a family-run business. I'm happy to contribute, and they're like, no matter what, we'll make it work. But you've got to think, like, how?
Yeah.
Oh my God. My cat is literally at the door just going, I just look round and she's just staring at me. It's like, oh God, she's here. Hello. Okay, do you want to quickly say hello and then I'll put you down? Say hello then. Yeah, okay. Hello. Bye. Lockdown's turned me into a real cat lady.
Crazy cat lady coming through.
I do feel like I've had a lot of opportunities this year though, and in lockdown I think like I've got a lot of sponsorships for next year because I was much more active on social media. I was doing all my Instagram lives last time. I've become quite comfortable talking to the camera, so yeah, you know, brands just watch you for a little while, don't they? And certain brands have approached me since lockdown and said, do you want to work with us next year for the next season?
Good.
It's been really great, and I feel like if I hadn't put myself out there by doing these lives, they wouldn't know who I am, you know, or they wouldn't get to see what I'm about more. I'm surprised that some of them still want to work with me, to be honest, now they've seen what I am about.
I think you've done such an amazing job, like last lockdown and this lockdown, of just staying positive and putting out positive content. You've done such a good job of that.
I tell you what though, some of it, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not fake, because when I am in the live and I'm talking, I feel more buoyed up. But if it's at 7, for example, even at 6, I'm like, for fuck's sake, why have I done this? Like, all day, I'll just feel so flat and so shit, especially in the last lockdown. And I'm just like, ugh. And because I didn't really know, again, like what the lives would be like, if they would work, and they were quite structured last time on certain topics. And you just don't know if you're going to bounce with someone. Whereas this time I've just made it chilled. To be honest, it's more for me than anyone else. But I know that, like, say, for example, yesterday I did one with my friend and she doesn't compete. And so we didn't talk about fitness, and it just got hilarious. It was hilarious and it was outrageous. And everyone's messaging me saying, do you know what? It's just so nice to see people having a good time and making us laugh. But I'm just trying to keep myself in good spirits more than anything, to be honest, because it is shit, isn't it?
I know. I feel like I'm at a bit of a loss with my Instagram at the moment. Like, I'm a positive person, and I do think I completely agree with you that the only way we can get through this is to be positive. Like, that's the only way we can do it.
You've got to brainwash yourself, even though you don't actually feel like it.
I agree. But at the same time, I'm obviously like reposting everything to do with gyms. I'm really, really trying to fight for that, and I sort of just don't know how to do both, if that makes any sense, because I kind of feel like
you just gotta be yourself, mate.
But I don't feel positive. I feel really pissed off, quite frankly, and it's like, I'm trying to be, but do you know what I mean? It's a bit.
I think that I don't feel like, so obviously I watch all your stories. I don't feel like they're not positive. You can feel that you're frustrated, but we share that with you. So I feel like a lot of people actually relate to how you're feeling. And aren't like, oh God, what's going on over there kind of thing. Because they will understand. Even if people are watching that are not currently in lockdown, because obviously it's a global audience, right? They've all had a lockdown, and they've all had, the gyms have been closed everywhere. So I feel like people do really relate and appreciate and feel shit for us. Like, some of my friends in Scotland are like, fuck, I feel bad for you. And I'm like, I feel bad for you because you're going to go back into lockdown too, mate. But hopefully for their sakes, they don't, you know. But I now see how, when our gyms opened earlier than the rest of the UK, how they felt watching us train. You know, we didn't give a single thought to uploading our entire sessions, 4-hour-long sessions that first weekend. You know, I fried my CNS with that first leg day. My God. And I could see how down some of my, especially I've got a lot of friends in Scotland, and they were just like trying to be happy for us, but you could tell it was like a punch in the gut.
Definitely.
And I was really insensitive to it, and now I understand how they must have felt, because we're just literally watching their workouts like
yeah. I know. I feel like maybe people misunderstand, like when I'm talking about gyms all the time, it's not just because I like going to the gym, even though obviously I do. I just feel like I feel so frustrated for everyone else, for business owners, for people who genuinely rely on it for huge mental health issues. I feel like there are people who are going to commit suicide this winter that otherwise wouldn't have done. And that is what really winds me up. And I feel like I'm constantly like wired up at the moment because I can't let that go. That just bothers me.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about you. You're able to use your platform to educate or to share how you feel and to make other people realize it's not just about how you look, you know. Like, I really feel like there's a misconception about, especially when it's your lifestyle, you know, right? My friends that don't train will sometimes make a comment about trying to stay skinny, or like, because obviously that is what everyone that doesn't bodybuild thinks. We're trying to get fucking massive. I know,
if someone called us skinny, we'd be like, no.
How dare you? Someone called me toned at the start of the year. I was like, don't you ever call me toned again. Call me hench. But you know, the misconception about what we get and what we take out of the gym, and it's like, actually, it's my entire, I know it sounds really sad when I say it out loud, but that's almost my entire social life is based at the gym. And I live in an area in London that I don't really know anyone. So the last lockdown, I was completely on my own. I couldn't meet anyone for a walk. I was just me. And then I found this amazing gym. It's family run. They've got like a seating area around the reception, so you can sit and talk to them like you're at a bar. And I got to know so many people so well. There's such amazing people that go to that gym that I now don't feel alone, because I know when I'm allowed out tomorrow, I will have people to go for a walk with, or have a little moan. But for me, it's more about that human connection. Sometimes I go to the gym and I sit there and I don't train and I talk, or I go for 6 hours, you know, because I sat down for 2 hours, I trained for 2 hours, and then I ate and I sat down again, you know. And it's super social, our gym. And it's just been, now that's gone, I feel really cut off again and really isolated, because while I do get on really well with these people, it doesn't mean that they're my kind of outside of the gym friends, you know.
I'm exactly the same as you in that sense. Like, most of my closest friends I've met through training. There are a few people that I know now that I will see outside the gym, but like when I first moved to Birmingham, which wasn't that long ago, I didn't know anybody. So it was definitely a struggle in that sense. And as you were saying, like, I completely agree with you. The gym is my place. Like,
just makes you, it's your little safe place, isn't it? That you know exactly what it's going to be like. There's no crazy surprises. You know who's going to be there, and your little sanctuary.
And you feel like you're progressing yourself. You are progressing yourself. And like, I hate being told that I can't do that. It's like, don't take that from me. I just feel like really protective over it.
It just goes so far against what we're trying to do. They're not locking us down to stop us getting the virus. They're locking us down to stop the NHS being overwhelmed. That is it. They're just trying to slow it.
Why have we closed down a huge sector that would help that?
I really feel like there should have been, you know, like you have environmental health officers, there should have been a COVID-based team to go around to all types of businesses, not just gyms, and say, are you COVID secure? You know, here is your tick list of the things that you need to have done. Are you adhering to it? You get a certificate, and they come and check however often. Same as restaurants do with environmental health and the food agencies. Like, I really, really feel like that would have been a much better way to spend some of the money they've absolutely wasted on some of the things they've done. Like, how does track and trace not work? Actually, my experience with track and trace has been really good because I have the app. But every single person that I said I'd been in contact with, none of them have the app. And it's like, if you only things, oh God, my cats are about to have a massive fight. It's only going to work if everyone buys into it and downloads it and believes in it. But they don't.
No.
And it's like, you should have spent some money on a marketing campaign, guys, instead of just making an app that I think is great and it does work when you've got it.
Yeah.
But huge percentage of people don't have it.
Yeah. I think it's because they also don't have faith in our government.
No.
And that's a big part of the reason why they don't have it.
For me, I never voted for this party anyway, but the thing that just made me feel like you think I'm a fucking idiot is when that Dominic Cummings thing happened and he drove for half an hour to check his eyesight and took his family out for a day out. And it was like, they didn't apologise. They insulted our intelligence as the public, saying he hasn't broken any rules. No, sorry. Number one, he thought he was blind, but he got in a car to test it for half an hour. Like,
well
do you think I'm a fucking idiot?
Yeah.
That was the day that I was like, oh, fuck this. Like, there should have been the biggest public apology. Even if you didn't fire him, you should have said, like, you know, he's had a fucking disciplinary, whatever. But he should have been fired, let's be honest. Drove a car to test his eyesight. I can't even believe that has been said as like, okay. Oh.
No.
And from that day, I was like, oh, this is a mockery, honestly. We're intelligent people. Don't insult our intelligence like that.
That's what they've been doing this whole time.
Yeah. I actually am a very rational person. I am very data driven, very scientific. Like, don't get me wrong, I believe in a little bit of magic, and you got to, don't you, in this day and age? But I feel quite scared at the moment, and I'm not a scared person. I feel really scared at how we've lost complete autonomy. We don't have autonomy in anything. Yeah. You know, in London, we can't even get food delivered, groceries delivered, because I tried to look this weekend because I've run out of food. I'm self-isolating, right? But I can't even get it delivered because it just literally says full. And it's like, what am I meant to do?
Yeah.
I'm lucky I'm obviously a pig and I've got a freezer full of random stuff. But I am, luckily from competing, used to eating weird concoctions of things.
Yeah.
So I don't mind the weird things that I've eaten in the last 2 days. But most people would not bother even eating because it doesn't make a cohesive meal. And it's like, okay, so you're telling me I can't go out, but you actually won't even let me. You're not going to let me get food unless some random person around here goes to get it for me. It's not going to happen. It's London.
It's a scary time at the moment. Like, I feel like all sorts has happened, obviously, with our government, with Brexit and everything, but they've never, ever, ever had this much control and power over us. Yeah. I feel like this year is how it's just become so apparent. The fact that we actually don't have any freedom at all.
It's like all the conspiracy theorists from, say, 5 years ago that you'd be like, all right, mate, calm down. That shit's happening now.
Yeah.
You know, like, and who's laughing now? They're literally like, told you. But it's like watching a movie, like some kind of dystopian, even like, I know it's a bit far to say this, but the Hunger Games, where everyone's in districts and everyone's controlled. And I'm not saying we're all going to go out and fight like to be victor, but you know, it almost feels like that's the start of something similar where we're all just so controlled. And they're not meant to like control us. They're meant to work for us. And
exactly.
Like,
honestly, it makes me want to get out of the UK. I do not want to be here. I really don't, and it has made me think about that in terms of the future. Like, I don't want to be here if it's like this.
Yeah, but I must say, I really don't feel like there's anywhere that's not quite similar, to be honest. I mean, America, my sister lives in America, and I just said to her the other day, like, what's the feeling like because of the election comes? She was just like, oh, people just getting on with it kind of thing. Like, she lives in LA. And I was like, don't you feel like, I don't know, I would not want to live in America.
No,
like,
in America.
Just, yeah.
I feel like the only place that's done this lockdown well has been Sweden. Take me to Sweden. I want to go.
Yeah. Do you know what I do feel like, though? We can't be incomparable to them because everything's so different. Do you know what I mean? Just how many people we have in London, for example. you know when they started doing the tiered lockdowns and they put Liverpool into tier 3, and I was thinking, surely London is the first place to be tier 3. There's millions of us. You cannot social distance here. The pavements, obviously, we don't really drive in London. And so you're walking everywhere. You can't, there's no social distancing. And when people were queuing to get into the supermarket for hours, once they were in there, it was like fucking free for all. It's crazy. Today, my friend was telling me how there was just a man just walking around touching stuff, putting it down, putting it back, and it's like, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know where we could go. Just want to go and live in Thailand. They've never cared about health and safety, and they're having a great time.
Completely different is all I want to go.
Yeah. I think it is, you know, seeing quite a few of our friends or people that we know are in Dubai at the moment, aren't they? Not just for a holiday, but literally kind of pseudo living there. Just
loads of people have gone in there just like, I was supposed to be flying back in 2 weeks, but I'm probably not. So
yeah,
just like,
I asked a few people, I was like, so is this permanent? And they were like, maybe. Like, they can, if their lifestyle affords them to go and work remotely, then why not, right?
Yeah.
Dubai doesn't appeal to me though. It's too hot.
It looks better than here.
It looks amazing. I've been watching everyone's stories, looking around my living room while they're doing like a lovely a walk at midnight, and it's all beautiful. And I'm like, I even considered
Bali is open. Bali is open, guys.
See you guys there. Well, actually, it's really funny. So I was going to spend the whole of December in Thailand. My friend Joe and I that are going to spend Christmas together, we were just going to go because we go to this place where you train. It's just in Phuket. It's a whole road of just bars and gyms, all different disciplines. Everyone knows each other. I've got some friends that live there year round that are coaches at those gyms. But yeah, it's like a little family. It's amazing. So I've been there twice, and we were going to go again and plus do some traveling around Thailand. And Thailand's closed for tourists. So we're like, where are we going to go? Wales, probably, if we're still in lockdown. But you're not even allowed to book Airbnbs or hotels at the moment. So I was just going to go and stay in Wales for a month and work from there.
Unless you can get yourself elite athlete status between now and then.
Yeah.
And you can
Damn.
go there.
I better cut my calories down another 1,000. Maybe I could do strongman.
Yeah, there you go. We'll sort this out. Yeah.
No, it's it's funny old times, isn't it? And the thing is, we've never had more options to do something like move overseas and still keep our quality of life and our salaries and stuff. But we're not even allowed to fly, you know, although I'm sure I saw Brightman went somewhere today. But he's
that, and I did wonder. I just think you can fly, but yeah, he's off.
So if the airline is flying and they don't cancel your flight, then obviously you've got the chance to go there. But at the destination, they can turn you away. So I think it depends. Well, now we've got travel corridors. I don't know if that still applies in this current national lockdown, but yeah, you had. Look, you can, if it's approved for business, you could just set up a fake business meeting with your friend that lives in that country. But I do know someone that tried to fly in the last lockdown and was turned away at customs there and sent back. But yeah. I think we're just going to have to ride it out, mate.
I'm distracted by the comment from Matthew there that says, now's the perfect time to do some calf raises, Phil. Hit me right in the field.
That's personal attacks on me as well. I even thought, I've got a 20-kilo bumper plate, right? And it is thick. And I thought, I could use that for calf raises with a barbell on my back. And then I was like, I'm not going to, am I? I've been training with someone once a week. I've been training with someone once a week, and she makes us do standing calf raises at the end, like 3 or 4 sets of 12. And that's my annual calf training.
Annual calf training. Love it.
I trained with Amy Lee quite not long ago, and I did my annual bench press.
Nice.
The worst thing is, I'm like, I can always just do 50 kilos and that's it. I failed on it. We could not stop laughing. So I was just like, huh. Okay, yeah, that's done. But yeah, I feel like we just have to try and keep positive, take each day as it comes, tick the boxes. I actually wrote myself a list of non-negotiable things, and I was saying to my best friend today, it's a real harrowing time where you've got to put shower on the list of things to do that day.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to just get up, have your breakfast, you're in your PJs, train, maybe not shower, depending, like. And I'm like, no, you have to get up, and the first thing you got to do is get your butt in the shower.
Yeah.
Brush your teeth.
Keep as much of a routine as you can, definitely. Yeah. Like when I'm working, I still get up and I'm like, right, makeup on, do everything like I would normally do it. That's the only way I can hack it.
Yeah.
Can't live my life in my pajamas.
I think it makes such a difference though, doesn't it? Because you're just not wallowing as much.
Yeah.
But it's also okay to feel shit as well, you know, and just recognize that it's hard times. And we're all just doing the best we can. And we're both so lucky that we've got such amazing people around us to support us. But I have had like some of my strongest friends say, shit, I never ever admit that I don't feel good. But at the moment I'm struggling. And it's like, bro, me too. Like, and the more people that admit it, the better. It's not really about wallowing. I think it's just about just being yourself in that moment and just.
Yeah, everyone's dealing with it however they can. So
I feel like that kind of cliche of like a problem halved is a problem shared is actually true. And I feel like that's the biggest feedback I get from my stories is I'll talk about some things that might be a bit taboo. So for mental health, for example, I will talk about my anxiety when I'm having it. Most people will only talk about afterwards when they feel better. And I'm like, no, I'm legit have sobbed sometimes. Like, no, I'll be back in a minute, guys. And then I come back like, well, that escalated quickly. But I get so much feedback from people just saying it's just so good to see someone's actual reality instead of this manicured perfect lifestyle that not one of us has got. So I think it's just fine now to, as long as you're not like enabling yourself to just sit and feel shit, you know, you just got to get on with it, right? We all do. I feel like this time round I've had to really just suck it up. Tell my friends I feel shit when I do. Put the eyeliner on. Have the shower.
One thing at a time at the moment.
So are you back with your parents?
Yeah, I came back down south just for this lockdown because my flat up in Birmingham has no space whatsoever, so I couldn't have chained or anything, and I didn't want my mum to be on her own down here, so I just came back. Hopefully not for any longer than 4 weeks.
Welcomed back with open arms by the spiders in the garage.
Spiders and mice.
Wildlife.
It honestly is.
It's good though. I really, really like the way you posted all of your training through the last lockdown. Really made me pull my finger out to actually do it, and like it does inspire people, even gives them ideas, you know. Like I actually screenshot you yesterday or the day before just doing a BFR wall sit, because I was like, oh, screenshot that so I remember to put that into my session.
Good luck with those, that's all I'm gonna say. They are.
How long do you sit there for? Because it looks like agony.
So my coach has me do this superset where it's a wall sit to failure, all BFR by the way, wall sit to failure, dumbbell walking lunge for 2 minutes, 3 times. And honestly, every time I do it, I just want to throw up.
I'm just going to write that down. 2 minutes, and that's... It's
probably about a 2-minute wall sit, 2-minute walk lunge 3 times.
But you just don't understand like how much people get from just watching you do that sometimes. You know, I'm sure there's probably some people that watch us and our little snippets like, next. Skip, next.
Just swipe past,
But then there's other people that screenshot it to do it, you know, like... I wouldn't have remembered to do that again because I don't follow a training plan from my coach. I just wing it, do my own training plans. And that is it's in the repertoire. It's in tomorrow.
No, last lockdown I remember filming loads of stuff, like not necessarily the sessions I was doing, but I had loads of time because I wasn't working. It's different now, and it goes dark so early, so it's like it's really difficult for me to do that. But I am gonna definitely try and at least film what I'm actually doing, and then do what I can.
I think it does really give people some ideas. And motivate them. Sometimes you just see someone getting on with it and they've admitted that they didn't want to do it either, but did it. Like you said, you came back and did the second part of the session later. I'm gonna have to do the same now. I don't have to, but I know I'll be really pissed off with myself that I've let my head get in the way, if you know what I mean, because I have felt just meh all day. But
you'll feel better for getting it done for sure.
I know if I don't train in this lockdown, I haven't got a chance of placing highly in my competitions next year if I compete, because everyone's in the same boat, and some of those girls I'm competing against are sucking it up and just getting on with it and doing the training no matter what. So I have to as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've only got a couple of minutes left. You know I'm going to put you on the spot and say, do you have any final pearls of wisdom or any tips or tricks for anyone that's watching this?
Tips or tricks for what? Oh, God.
Oh, well, you choose.
I don't know.
Just dealing with lockdown, I suppose. Or even how can they help with us trying to get these gyms open?
Sign the petitions, please.
Sign the petitions.
Email your MPs, although from experience that doesn't really do a lot, but still.
But you know what? It might just take that one extra letter where they go, for fuck's sake, just reply to them. I can't be bothered.
There's one particular petition that I know they're trying to get to a million signatures.
Yeah. I think it's at 600 at the moment, isn't it?
6,000. Yeah. So that one, please sign that one.
That is the official one on the petitions.gov. It's not a change.org one, which they don't. The change ones actually are not heard in Parliament, which is annoying. So I never knew that until this gym thing happened.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's really important for people to just, when the gyms do open, I know it sounds so stupid, but I know from my own gym, it's not the gym membership that really does that much for them. It's all the little things that you can buy there, a protein shake or a pre-workout or a bar. Like, they make a big margin on those things. So that is how I support my gym. I eat so much when I'm there. And I do think, like, oh, bloody hell, I should not be spending this much a day. Say I should buy a box of grenade bars myself, for example. But actually, that's how I help them to claw back the money that they lost in lockdown. So, yeah, I'm hoping to get myself a bit of merch because I'm freezing. I'm like, can you guys start some, hoodies and hats, maybe some leggings.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, well, thank you for tonight. It's flown by.
It has. It's actually gone well quick.
Time flies when you're having a moan.
I know, you really have ranted as well.
Yeah. I'm going to put this on my IGTV. I'll tag you in your story so you can share it. But thank you, everyone who did watch with us. And let's keep fighting the good fight to get these gyms open, because they really should be essential. I don't think it's the mental health aspect that we should be focusing on, because they can poo-poo it. It's the physical health aspect, saying, well, you're saying exercise takes off X billion of treatment for obesity, diabetes, anything kind of related where you've said we should exercise. Give us the fucking chance. It's too dangerous to exercise out in the dark, especially if you live in an area like mine. I can't even exercise outside in the broad daylight. Like, there's a lot of really rough men around here and I don't feel safe. So
absolutely.
Thank you. Please keep uploading your training, because I need the ideas for my own training. Thank you, and thank you everyone for watching.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye.